iconic Peashooter, a plant that you always start with in the Plants vs. Zombie games. There's not too much to say about these guys. They're one of many species of plants genetically engineered by your crazy next-door neighbor to help fend off the zombie apocalypse. And yes, that was a real sentence that I just said. As their name suggests, they shoot pea seed ammunition, usually fronting as the go-to offensive cavalry to take zombies out from afar. And now, this budding champion is here today to show everyone just what it could do in Super Smash Bros. So getting right into things, the Peashooter can be an above-average lightweight character. It'd have 2 jumps and no additional movement options. The main inspiration behind this moveset for the Peashooter will be coming from its playable roles in the Garden Warfare style of games. There will still be inspiration from the tower defense games, of course, as well as from other species in the Peashooter family, turning Peashooter somewhat into an amalgamation character. But at the root of it all, Peashooter is not the Peashooter unless it shoots peas, which is what it'll be doing for a few of its attacks. Specifically, its jab, side tilt, neutral air, and forward air. For these attacks, Peashooter will fire weak pea projectiles straight forwards, having the option to move around and jump while it fires, 1 pea per button press. These shots deal small damage and minimal hit stun, but they will have a unique trait where they won't actually count as projectiles until they fly a certain distance. In short, peas cannot be reflected or the like if you hit opponents with them at point blank range, but they can be reflected once they fly far enough from Peashooter's snout. For the dash attack, this can have Peashooter do a flying headbutt to knock foes out of its way. This deals the most damage at the start of the move, but that quickly drops off the further it flies. The up tilt can have Peashooter take its pea pod arms and clap them together overhead. Great for insects when you run out of insecticide, and it makes for a quick attack with some decent horizontal scoop. This attack actually references the end of one of its gestures in Battle for Neighborville. For the down tilt, I call it Pea Soup. Peashooter spits out peas that it liquefied at the ground, a move with a bit of linger, and it pops foes away on contact. For the Peashooter smash attacks, these can be the first to have it pull from the powers of other Peashooters in its family, with the side smash having it grow 2 more heads to shoot out 3 stronger pea shots forward, having it become a 3-peater. Just like with the normal pea shots, the 3-peater shots will not count as projectiles if they connect on foes at point blank range. Each shot also individually counts as their own hitbox, so hitting foes with all 3 shots will deal way more damage. There is also a small amount of hit stun from getting hit by each pea, making it more likely for you to get hit by the other 2 peas before you get launched away. For the up smash, at first, Peashooter hides its head underground, only leaving its leaves visible as it charges. But when the attack is released, it shoots out as a snap pea, growing a massive jaw around its head to chomp any opponent above it, after which the jaw wilts away to turn it back to normal. This is probably the Peashooter's hardest hitting attack, being the most reliable for getting KOs. But as a result, it is also the slowest attack, so bear that in mind. And while its hurtbox does shift down while charging, lower attacks can still interrupt it if the exposed leaves are struck. Then for the down smash, Peashooter crouches low to the ground and grows a second head out of the back of its head to become a split pea. It then fires 2 larger pea shots into both directions at the same time. They don't travel nearly as far as the other pea shot attacks, but they are a little stronger, and again, they cannot be reflected at point blank range. Now for the remaining aerial attacks, the back air can have the Peashooter clap its leaf feet backward, directly referencing a Peashooter animation in Plants vs. Zombies 3. This is a bursty attack, so it's quick and hits hard, but it will only hurt foes at the moment that it clicks its feet. The up air can have Peashooter fire a blank from its snout as it leans forward, causing its head to fly back, creating a wide overhead strike from front to back. Then the down air can have Peashooter spin its feet leaves downward like a buzzsaw, dealing multiple hits of damage before foes get launched away. Peashooter can grab with its pea pod arms and pummel by headbutting its foe. For the forward throw, it swallows the foe, then spits them out forward. The back throw can have it spin the foe around with its body, showing its head and feet remaining static as it spins the foe, then tosses them back. The up throw can have Peashooter grow a sling pea, which swallows the foe, then spits them out into the air along with a bunch of peas. Those extra peas can actually hurt other nearby foes. And the down throw can have Peashooter root itself, then pull the foe into the ground to bury them. This could be a reference to the shadow pea pulling zombies into the ground, but the bury part is about the only similarity that this throw has to it. For the Peashooter's neutral special, it could root itself into the ground, put on an army helmet, and turn itself into a Gatling pea. While rooted, you can press or hold the attack button to fire continuous pea shots. They're slightly stronger than normal, and you're also now able to fire them into any direction you'd like with the control stick with a nearly tripled rate of fire. You are able to remain like this for as long as you'd like, but the big trade-off is that it does leave you very vulnerable. While rooted, you of course can't move from that spot until you press the special button again. And if you're attacked while rooted, that will knock you out of the ground, but at the very least, you will take reduced knockback than normal. Next, for the side special, this will have Peashooter spit out a chili bean bomb. The chili bean is a gravity-affected projectile, and foes hit by it after it's spat out take small flinching damage. Then automatically, after a few seconds, the bean will explode, dealing big damage to all within range, Peashooter included. The bean will explode sooner though if it's hit by any attack. But before the bean explodes, it is treated like an item, so it can be picked up and thrown. Now for Peashooter's up special, this will be a fairly interesting one. It could use its pea souped ability. While on the ground, using up special has Peashooter temporarily buff itself, increasing its movement speed to bring the pedal to the metal. It runs faster and can jump way higher. Then after the buff ends, it goes on a 10-second cooldown, so trying to use it again while it's on that cooldown will result in failure. If you use pea souped while in the air, however, this will have Peashooter take a leap of faith and default to a super pea jump, leaping high into the air. This isn't affected by the ground version's cooldown, by the way. You can use this as often as you want. For intensive purposes, they're two separate specials. This won't put you into freefall, but it can only be used once per airtime unless it's attacked after using it. If you need a little more airtime though, continuing to hold the special button down after using the P jump will actually have Peashooter spin its feet like a copter to initiate a hover, allowing it to slow its descent. You can move left or right as you descend, and if you let the button go while still airborne, that will force Peashooter into a freefall. And lastly, for Peashooter's down special, this is actually what's going to be diversifying this moveset quite a bit. It'll be a P-shot shift. This will allow Peashooter to change what kind of ammunition it can fire for its P-shot attacks, borrowing the elemental types of P ammo from others in the Peashooter family. There are 4 types of ammo, including the default P-shots, which will be what you always start rounds with. The default Ps are the most balanced, dealing average damage, pretty good knockback, and have a great rate of fire and fly speed. They don't have any additional effects like the others will, but they do have the best range. The next in line will be the Fire Ps, normally used by the Fire Peashooter. Fire Ps are all about dealing pain, having the greatest damage output, and fly the fastest. But they do have a slightly slower rate of fire, lackluster range, and are not too great at getting KOs. They can, however, leave foes burned, dealing additional residual damage to opponents hit by Fire Ps for a little bit. I should also mention that these P-types will also change the properties of the down tilt as well, and in the case of the Fire P, it has Peashooter spit flames at the ground. Now after that are the Snow Peas from the Snow Peashooters, which are the most technical Ps but are also the weakest. They don't deal a lot of damage and they cause no hit stun whatsoever. They also fly at a rather slow rate. But they do have the best rate of fire, so they are the most spammable, and they also have the second best range of the bunch. On top of that, hitting foes with this shot will slightly slow them down for a bit, and they also have a chance to freeze foes, with the freeze chance increasing the higher a foe's damage percent is. And the down tilt for this P-type has the Peashooter spit snow at the ground. And for the final P-type in rotation, it can be the Stone P, coming from the Primal Peashooters or the Stone Peashooters. These are the Ps you want if you're ready to get some KOs. They deal great damage and have incredible knockback potential, capable of getting early knockouts. If you can land them, that is. They have the worst rate of fire, fly speed, and range, making them much more effective up close. There's also a bit of a gambling aspect to them, because there's a very small chance that landing the Stone Ps could effectively crit opponents, causing them to deal double the knockback than they already do. And if a foe happens to shield this crit, it's guaranteed to break that shield. But again, you have to be incredibly lucky to be able to land this to begin with. And lastly, this P-type has the Peashooter spit rubble at the ground for its down tilt. Now, I should also mention that you'll be able to tell which P-shot you have in rotation based on the Peashooter's appearance. The default P doesn't change anything, but the fire shot causes Peashooter's head to catch on fire, the snow shot causes ice crystals to grow out of the back of its head, and the stone shot makes Peashooter hairy, just like the primal Peashooters. All in all, Peashooter is a walking arsenal in the oddest sense of the word. It can both zone foes from afar while also being decent at playing neutral. Just be careful not to let them get too close. You will need to learn when it's best to jump in or back off. The best offense is a good defense, and the best defense is a good offense. Find that balance, and you'll come up roses. For the Peashooter's final smash, it's fed the very potent plant food. After it eats it, from its spot, it unleashes its powerful ultimate, donning a militant helmet and starts firing a huge barrage of pea shots straight forward. All foes in the line of fire take constant damage as they're slowly pushed away. The final smash ends with Peashooter charging up, then firing a giant shot forward, knocking away all foes hit by it. This particular plant food ability comes from the Repeaters, the slightly stronger siblings to the normal Peashooters. Because of the nature of the down special and how they change the Peashooter's appearance, and despite there being a plethora of them in the Garden Warfare games, there will not be any alternate costumes for this moveset, only alternate colors, with the default color making the Peashooter its usual green. The first alt can make Peashooter a light blue, so if you choose to have the snow shots equipped, you'll look just like a snow Peashooter. Then here we have a red color, so as such, if you have the fire shots in rotation, you'll look just like a fire Peashooter. Then here we have a pink color, which could reference the sweet peas from Plants vs. Zombies Adventures. Next is yellow, which can reference the bee shooters, also from Adventures, though it could also reference... I hate it. Here we have a purple color, which can reference the Shadow Peashooter as well as the Cosmic Peashooter from Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. Next is the brown color, which can reference the Stone Peashooters from Garden Warfare as well as the Peanuts. And lastly, here's a white monochrome color, referencing the Imitator copying a Peashooter. The real question though, is this actually a Peashooter or is it an imitator pretending to be a Peashooter? The world may never know. For the stage intro, Peashooter simply jumps out of the ground, just like it does when it readies up for battles in the Garden Warfare games. For its taunts, and victory animations for that matter, they could all be gestures shown in the Garden Warfare games, starting with the hooray gesture, then it can do the cackle gesture, then here's the dirt sucker gesture. And for the gestures I've given to the Peashooter for its victory animations, the first can have it do the Rad Beans dance, then it can do the Untouchable dance for its second animation, and for its final victory animation, it could do the Happy dance. And that does it for What If the Peashooter was in Smash? So, if you enjoyed what you saw and would like to see even more characters be given possible Smash movesets, be sure to subscribe. I also recently just started a new series of videos centered around Pokemon Unite. If you're interested in that, please go check it out. And if you want to support the show and help me be able to make more content for you guys, you can click the join button below the video, the one on my main page, or the link in the description to become a sponsor for my channel. Doing so will get you access to my Discord server, as well as channel emotes. You can guarantee that your name appears in my videos, or even get the option of knowing what if character is coming up next a week in advance. I really appreciate anything that can be contributed. And of course, if you have a character that you want to see be given a possible Smash moveset, leave a comment down below or contact me on Twitter at BrawlFan1 on Twit. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching!